Hey, there's no need to stress. Here's your teacher tip in 5 minutes or less. I'm Educator Barnes, and today we're going to talk about must do, should do, could do. And this will focus on prioritizing our tasks. If you're a teacher, you already know until you get to the very last day of school and school wraps up, there's always going to be a task that you need to do to be successful at your job. But sometimes we are getting to this vicious cycle of doing low priority tasks first and then not getting to the important tasks. So we should put our tasks into categories and then prioritize certain categories more than others. So the must do are tasks that you should do because they could have consequences. And I'm talking about negative consequences. So a must do. I must take attendance every single day by 9 a.m. Every single school has an attendance requirement. It's actually a legally binding requirement because sometimes attendance records get used in like custody disputes in courts. And then we're just supposed to know where our children are at. So that is the must-do task. Turning in your lesson plans on time is a must-do task. Doing your data analysis before your PLC is a must-do task. A should-do task is a task that you should do for your job, but it may not have a due date that's set by your school administration. So you have more autonomy of when you do those tasks. So that might be when you prep materials for the next day. So if you have three must-do tasks for your school administration and you run out of time, then you may slide that should-do task of prepping. Instead of doing it that day, you may do it the next day because you're not really doing that lesson until 2 days later. And then could-do tasks are more of your fluff tasks, and could do is the column that we tend to land in. I don't like decorating that much, but when it came to my classroom, I wanted to have a certain vibe. So I remember earlier in my career, I spent a lot of time, color coordinating, getting this kind of border to go around. But at the end of the day, that is not a high level task. That task doesn't necessarily turn into academic results. Now, your class shouldn't be looking busted. It should look nice, but that's not a task that is a must-do task. There's a due date that your class has to be glam, right? You can choose to move that task to any day. So when you're thinking about all the tasks that you have to do and all the tasks that just keep falling on our plates, because we know that other duties as a side are all these extra tasks that pop up, make sure you categorize your task in must-do tasks and then work on that column first. Slide over to your should do task and then go to your could do task. If you're a person that needs to do something that you really love first, then do one thing for your could do task and then move it on back and get your must do and then your should do. Tune back in for another teacher tip.